Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. In this one, I am going to be doing my final thoughts as well as giving my final review of Call of Duty Vanguard. So as you guys can see, it's that time of the year once again. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the newest game, will be releasing on Friday at the time you're making this video, and in other places around the world, for example Australia as well as New Zealand, Modern Warfare 2 will be releasing in just about 12 hours from now at the time you're recording this one, which is absolutely insane to think about. However, before we dive into Modern Warfare 2, I still need to make one more video, and that's naturally my final thoughts on Call of Duty Vanguard, as well as of course naturally my final review of Vanguard and kind of a reflection upon the past years. So if you guys weren't already aware, because you might be a newer viewer to my channel, my final thoughts series is by far my longest running series that I have ever done. I originally started this series back in November of 2015, where on November 5th, 2015, the day before Black Ops 3 came out, I did my final thoughts on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and then subsequently every single year I've done my final thoughts on Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3. For 2017, I did a 2-video special where I did my final thoughts on Modern Warfare Remastered as well as Infinite Warfare. Then of course I did Call of Duty World War 2, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2019, and finally Black Ops Cold War. And then here we are with Call of Duty Vanguard. So it's been 7 years, and this year is kind of a special one once again because of course I originally started this series with Advanced Warfare, which was a Sledgehammer Games Call of Duty game, and then similar to 2018, I did my final thoughts on World War 2, which was a Sledgehammer Games Call of Duty game, and here we are with Vanguard, another Sledgehammer Games Call of Duty game. So I've done a final thoughts video on 3 games made by Sledgehammer. So with that all being said, before I get too far into this one, if you guys want to enjoy it any given point in time, make sure to leave a like on it down below as well as subscribe. So without further ado, let's actually dive right into it. And alright guys, so to start off today's video, I would like to mention right at the start that in this one, I'm going to try to be as candid as I possibly can. But with that being said, I think we're all very well aware of the fact that Call of Duty Vanguard was not the most popular game, and I know a lot of people really didn't enjoy this game and a lot of them stopped playing it. However, I would like to mention that that didn't sway my opinion of Vanguard. You know, whenever I do a review of a particular Call of Duty game, I'm only swayed by my own perception as well as my own experiences with the game and not by public perception. You know, as an example, I really did enjoy Call of Duty World War 2. I thought it was a pretty dang good game and I enjoyed it a lot, even though I know a lot of people out there didn't enjoy World War 2 and they thought it was one of the worst Call of Duty games of all time. So with that being said, I would like to mention that I did enjoy Vanguard. I thought it was a pretty good game, and I think the actual core aspects of Vanguard were very solid, which I will get to that a little bit later in this review. However, I wanted to mention that because I wanted to make it very apparent that I gave Vanguard a chance. I played it throughout the entire year, and I also played quite a bit of the game. For example, I got Atomic Camo, which was quite the grind, and that meant naturally I used every single base weapon in Call of Duty Vanguard. I've also used the DLC weapons. I made it up to level 200 in all of the seasons except for Season 5, maxed out the battle passes. So I played Vanguard, I gave it a chance, I got to see what it was like, and now at the very end of the year, I can give my honest review of what I experienced. And yeah, let's actually start off by talking about Vanguard when it first came out and kind of my thoughts on the particular game. So honestly, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I enjoyed the core aspects of Vanguard, and I think that Vanguard had a lot of potential at launch. You know, going back a year ago, a lot of people are actually pretty excited for Vanguard because it was running off of the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, which after Black Ops Cold War, a lot of people were wanting to go back to that Modern Warfare 2019 engine, the Modern Warfare 2019 feel, and Vanguard definitely lived up to that. Additionally, the game launched with 16 multiplayer maps, which was absolutely incredible. It gave a lot of content for Vanguard at the launch of the game, as well as fan favorite maps like Shipment were going to be coming a little bit later with Season 1. So things were very promising in Vanguard at the very start of the game. However, I feel like the main issues with the game, and a lot of people that played the game throughout the year would definitely agree that a lot of the potential of Vanguard really wasn't capitalized on. And sadly, in some regards, it felt like Vanguard multiplayer kind of got left out to dry. Now that sounds pretty bold, but here are a couple of examples. So as I mentioned, Vanguard started off strong, but after Season 1 and going into Season 2, things start to change. For example, in-game events, because we all love in-game events with their themed playlists, themed maps, new content, as well as in-game challenges they have to complete to unlock rewards. Take for example the Haunting of Verdansk event that we saw with Modern Warfare 2019, or the Haunting event that we saw with Black Ops Cold War, or all the other events we saw in Warzone over this past year. And to be perfectly honest, Warzone saw some really good in-game events. For example, the Terminator crossover, the Godzilla vs King Kong event, all kinds of things like that were really cool. However, sadly, unlike Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019, Vanguard did not see very many in-game events. For reference, the last in-game event for Vanguard that featured themed playlists, themed maps, new content, and more specifically specifically in-game challenges to unlock rewards, was the Festive Fervor event, which yes, was the Christmas update that happened in December of 2021. After that, we did not see any new in-game event for Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer, which to be perfectly honest was definitely a shame. Another example of this would actually be the Armored War Machines, which was naturally the name for Season 2 of Vanguard, and more specifically the Ground War game mode, because a lot of people like myself were really looking forward to the fact that Ground War was going to be coming into Vanguard multiplayer, because in both Modern Warfare 2019 as well as Black Ops Cold War, Ground War as well as Combined Arms was one of my favorite game modes in both of those games. So myself and a lot of other people were definitely looking forward to seeing Ground War in Vanguard multiplayer, and of course it did come into the game with the mid-season update for Season 2, and although it was more like Fireteam Dirty Bomb, that was definitely okay and certainly made for a unique game mode, and personally I enjoyed it. However, after that initial update, we did not see a single new update adding in new content into that particular game mode. Naturally, it launched with one map, which was okay. However, afterwards, we did not see any new Ground War maps being added to the game. We did not see any new vehicles. We did not see anything being added into that particular game mode. It was kind of just left out to dry. And then finally, the latest example of this would be Season 5 and the lack of Season 6. Naturally, Season 5 released in August of 2022, and it was the final season. There wasn't going to be a Season 6. Now, on the surface, that isn't necessarily bad. You know, they can add in new content and keep people entertained throughout the entirety of Season 5, kind of merging Season 5's content with Season 6's, and pretty much just periodically releasing new content throughout that entire window to keep us entertained until Modern Warfare 2 came out. Essentially, it's a microcosm of Modern Warfare 2 lasting for 2 years instead of 1. It's the same idea. However, sadly, instead of having 2 smaller seasons merged into 1 big season, we effectively just got 1 final season that had the same amount of content as the usual season, but was just spread out over the lifespan of 2 seasons, which was a little bit odd. Now, I know it may sound like I'm complaining, however, that's not my purpose. The reason why I'm bringing all of these things up is because I want Sledgehammer Games to improve and I want their next game to be even better, and the only way that they can do that is by recognizing the issues and the faults and the mistakes that they made with this game, so that way their next game will be even better. And to tie it all around, my final thoughts on Call of Duty Vanguard are, I think Vanguard had a lot of potential, and I think the core aspects of Vanguard are really solid. However, sadly, a lot of the potential of Vanguard wasn't capitalized on, and in many regards when it comes to content, especially for multiplayer, was very much lacking, and in some regards multiplayer as a whole was kind of left out to dry. And in closing, those are my final thoughts on Call of Duty Vanguard. However, before I end off today's video overall, I want to take the time and talk about my experience on YouTube over this past year, as well as my plans for Modern Warfare 2, and at the very end of this video, I am going to be playing the first minute of my first ever Call of Duty Vanguard video, so that way you guys can see kind of a comparison between my first video on Vanguard and my last video on Vanguard. So naturally, because of the lack of content, it was kind of tricky making videos on Vanguard throughout this past year, and I guess the positive is I was able to experiment and try out different forms of content and kind of figure out what I like and what I don't like making. And candidly, I do apologize for the lack of videos throughout this past year, and I feel like I've learned from a lot of the mistakes I made over this past year, and heading into Modern Warfare 2, I want to do better and I want to upload a lot more and I want to be a lot more consistent for you guys. So honestly, I really do think that Modern Warfare 2 is going to be a very big opportunity, and I want to make the absolute most out of it. And it's kind of crazy to think about that this is going to be my last final thoughts video for 2 years, because my next one is going to be my final thoughts on Modern Warfare 2, and that's going to be coming out likely in October or November of 2024 with the launch of the next Treyarch Call of Duty game, which is just wild to think about because I started my YouTube channel when I was in middle school, and when the next Call of Duty game releases, the one after Modern Warfare 2, I'm going to be 21 years old, which is just wild to think about. And pretty much over this next year, I want to be a lot more consistent. I want to try out a lot of new things, and really I just want to see how far I can get. You know, if that's 10,000 subscribers, that would be amazing. If it's 100,000 subscribers, that would be mind-blowing. Or heck, even if it's just 6,000 subscribers, right now I'm at 5,600, then that would still be amazing too. I'm pretty much happy with whatever I get. So yeah, with that being said, that's going to effectively wrap up today's video. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class ups, intel, and so much more. So thank you very much for watching this video once again. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and also make sure you guys enjoy the footage of my first ever video on Call of Duty Vanguard. So with that all being said, I'll be seeing you guys in Modern Warfare 2. Hello everyone, and welcome to Call of Duty Vanguard. Now in today's video, I'm going to showcase and discuss the brand new Tracer Pack weapons here in Vanguard, how you can use them, how you can unlock them, and then a little bit later in this video, I'm going to be showing raw gameplay so that you guys can see them. Now with that said, if you guys just want to see the gameplay of the weapons themselves, themselves, feel free to skip ahead in this video and use the video chapters to locate exactly what you want to see. But if you want to know what the blueprints are, how you can use them, and how you can unlock them, make sure you watch through the entirety of this video. So with that said, without further ado, let's dive right into it. With that said, if you went on to enjoy this video at any given point in time, make sure you leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications, so that way you guys will stay up to date with all the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class ups, intel, and so much more. So with that said, enjoy the gameplay, and I hope to see you in the next one.